Hello guys and welcome. So in this video we're going to write a script that will automatically discover the IP addresses of the network we're connected to. Then it will discover any connected devices with a ping sweep, and then it's going to feed that information into Nmap to scan those devices to find any open ports. Then we're going to put the script into path so that you can run it from anywhere in your system with just a single word command. And there are one or two pros and cons to doing it this way. The cons, let's talk about, is that we're going to miss any devices that are not pingable, any devices that block ping. But the pros, there are a few. It saves a lot of time. It means that Nmap doesn't have to go looking through all of the IP range. It runs a little bit faster than when we ask Nmap to do a similar thing without having first filtered the IP addresses. And also there's no need to type several commands before actually starting, like finding the IP address of the network that you're connected to, and then copy and pasting that into an Nmap command. And also, really, it's just a great little project to practice with. So let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is to find the IP address of the network we're connected to, and we're going to do that with ifconfig. We hit that. Okay, we can actually see that the device that I'm connected to is connected in two different ways to this network, through wired and also through Wi-Fi. It's not going to be a problem, but we know that this is the IP address that we're looking for, and this is going to be the first 3 octets, and they're the ones that we're interested in. Okay, let me clear the screen. So now I'm going to write a one-line command that will isolate the first 3 octets of the IP address of the network that we're connected to. So I'll begin again with ifconfig, and I'm going to pipe ifconfig into a grep command, and we're going to grep for the word broadcast and see what happens. Okay, as you see, there were 2 lines that contain the word broadcast, and I'm not going to worry too much that there are 2. Okay, so in order to isolate that IP address, we're going to add another command. So we're going to pipe this information into cut, and we're going to cut with a delimiter of a space. So what that's going to do is cut these lines anywhere that there's a space. The problem is that we have quite a lot of spaces to begin with there. Okay, well, that's no problem. We'll print which field. Let's say we print field 8 and see what happens. Okay, 8 is just a space. So let's print field number 9. And we've got inet, so I think it's field number 10 that we're after. And there we have it. They're the IP addresses. So now what I want to do is I actually want to trim the ends off of these IP addresses. Okay, so we're going to use cut again. So we're going to pipe that into cut, and we'll use a delimiter of a dot. So we're going to cut these lines anywhere where there's a dot, and then we're going to print fields 1, 2, and 3, and that should give us just the 3 first fields there. Let's try it. There we go, that worked. And we have 2 of these, and we only really need 1, so we're going to add another command. So we're going to pipe all of this into unique. So this should give us a unique IP address. It'll take away any duplicates. And there we go, we have it. So I'm going to copy that line, and I'm going to put it into Notebook, and we'll save it for later. So now we can clear the screen and move on to the second part. So now we're going to use this command, ping. We're going to ping the router. So we're going to send a message to the router and ask it to respond to us. The router is most probably located on the IP address beginning number 1. So we press enter and give that a try. And it certainly is. So that's useful to know. But what I want to do is I want to give Ping something else to think about. I'm going to ask Ping to only ping one time, only send one packet to the router, and see if that works. Yes, it did. So now we can write another line that will isolate this IP address from this information. Okay, so we're obviously going to use ping again, but we're now going to pipe that into grep, and we're going to grep for something that is unique on this line. So we're going to grep for 64 bytes. We run that, and we've just got one line back with the IP address. So you probably guessed it, we're going to add another pipe, and we're going to cut, and we're going to use a delimiter of a space, and we're going to look for the field 1, 2, 3, 4. And that gives us our IP address. Unfortunately though, we've still got a colon at the end there, so we're going to have to try to get rid of that. We'll use TR. I'm not sure if this stands for trim or translate. I think it's translate, but in any case, we're going to give TR a delimiter of a colon, and when we press enter, there we have it. The IP address isolated on its own. So again, I'm going to copy this line, and I'm going to put it into Notepad. I'm going to clear the screen, and we're going to start with our next task. So the next thing we need to do is to make a directory. And I'm going to call this directory my scripts. Okay. Check that it exists. Yes, it does. Okay. So I'm going to cd into my scripts, and I'm going to create in here a file, and the way we're going to do that is just by using Nano. So if we use Nano, which is a text editor, and we give the file a name, I'm going to call it Pingy. That'll do for me. Okay, and we have opened the text editor, and when we save this, Nano will automatically create this file. So as always, we're going to put a shebang, no space. We're going to tell the computer where to find bash, and on this machine use a bin bash. That should work, and we can begin writing a script. So the first thing we need to do is to get the first 3 octets of the network IP, and we are going to go and copy and paste this line from Control-C to copy from our notepad. Paste that in. And the next thing we want to do is to give that command somewhere to store this information. So let's call this octets.txt. So as before, this command is going to run, and it's going to do if config. Then we're grepping for lines with broadcast. We're cutting that up, and we're getting grabbing the 10th field. We're going to cut that at a dot. We're going to get the first 3 octets. We're going to make that unique, and we're going to write that into a text file called octets. And now we want to create a variable, or set a variable, and I want the variable to have the value of octets txt. Okay, so I want the variable to actually just contain that same value. Well, we'll call that same value, we'll call it octets, and we'll say it equals $, open a parenthesis, and we're going to cat octets.txt. So by doing this, we know that this variable, when we call upon it in a little while, is going to have the value of whatever we put into this text file. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to create a new txt file, and we'll do that by using echo. So we're going to echo nothing to a text file that we're going to call this. I'll explain what this is right now. So we know that octets is going to have the variable octets is going to have the value that we stored in this text file, so the results of here. So it'll be 198.162 or 192.168.0. Okay, and we're going to create a text file with that same name. So when this file is created, it should be called 192.168. You get the picture. Okay, and now we're going to perform a loop. I'm going to go ahead and write this, and I'll explain shortly. Okay, variable IP in. Okay, so in this loop, we're going to begin with, we're setting a variable, we're calling it IP, and we're giving it a range. So the range is going to be from 1 to 254. Okay, so that's the variable we're going to tag on the end of the octets. So we're going to have the first 3 octets, and this is going to become the 4th octet of the IP address. And we know that the router is located at number 1, but we don't know anything else. We know that 255 is usually the broadcast address, so we don't really want to use that. So we're going to loop through everything from 1 to 254. And we write do, then we go to a new line, and we need to do an indentation. And this is where we go back to our notepad and we grab this line. And we paste that in. So I'm just going to go into here, and I'm going to get rid of this IP because we're going to use our variables. So the first 3 octets, we can use this variable, octets, okay, LCTEDS. And then we're going to put a dot, and we can use our second variable, IP. Don't forget to put a $sign in front of that. And now as we loop through, we're going to constantly use the first 3 octets because that's not within our loop. It's not going to change. But IP is going to change from 1, and it's going to go from 1 all the way to 254. And we're going to tell this script, this one line, to write the results of the loops into octets.text. Okay, we can't all see that. I'm just going to have to change the settings here. We'll make this 11, I think. Should all fit on them. Okay, so as you see, a little bit earlier, we created this new text file, and the reason that I asked it to echo nothing to the octets.text file is that every time we run this script, I want it to just clear the previous results. And I'm going to add one more thing to the end of that line. It's just an ampersand. Okay, so the ampersand will tell this loop to run multiple threads. It's not going to just go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. It's going to run multiple threads at the same time. And I can write done because I think that's our loop finished. And if we want to check to see if this script is working so far, we can cat octets.text. I'm going to save that. I'm going to exit, and we're going to add some privileges. I'm sorry, we're going to add some permissions to Pingy. We're going to give it executable permissions. Okay, we're going to just list, and Pingy doesn't, it's not green. Why is it not green? That's because I put minus instead of plus. Okay, cool. Now we can check. Yeah, it's green, it's executable. So Pingy. And there we have it. Have a list of all of the IPs that are pingable and on this network, on the same network that I'm on. And I can see that they're not in order, so I know that that was the ampersand at the end of that last line meant that everything was running concurrently. So that's great. So now let's go back into Nano, and just because I have a little bit of OCD, I don't like to see all of those IP addresses out of line, out of order. So we're going to use sort. So we're going to pipe the this text file into the command sort, and I'm going to see if I can write it back to itself. Okay, I'm not sure if this will work. We'll find out shortly. Save this, exit, run pingy. Okay, no, nothing came out, which could be a good thing. I'm just going to list to see what we have in there. We've got 192. Okay, so I'm going to cat 192.168. Nothing in it. Okay, that's no problem. Thought it was too good to be true. So we're going to give this this new file a new name. Okay, we'll call it octets sorted. Or why not put sorted before octets? Okay. Sorted octets. Okay, let's save that. Exit. Run it again. Okay, we're going to list. And we can see we've got sorted octets. I'm going to cat that. And there we have it. All of our IP addresses in order. Nice, much better. Okay, let's go back into Nano. And we're going to finish our script. Well, the next thing I want to do is to perform an Nmap scan. And we're going to perform a fairly easy, fairly basic Nmap scan. We're going to call upon Nmap, S and a big S. We're going to look at only the top 20 ports. So we use top ports and 20. We're going to get our information from a list, and the list is called sorted octets.txt. Okay, that's the line that we need. And as is my habit, I'm just going to write exit at the end of this. Okay, so I'm going to save that. I'm going to exit and I'm going to run my script. I'm actually going to clear the screen and run it for the first time fully. We need root privileges because Nmap needs root privileges, so that's no problem. We're just going to go sudo superuser do bingy password for Kali, put in my password, and now run. And there we have it. Wow, okay, so I can go all the way back to the top and I can have a look at all of the information it's given me. So of all of those IP addresses, this is the router, and we can see that we've got some open ports. Okay, but the problem with this is that I think that it's showing us all the closed ports as well. I'm not really interested in closed ports. So I'm going to go back into Nano and I'm going to make a little change to this Nmap command. Okay, so I'm going to go down here and I'm going to take out the top ports because that was just a little bit too much information. Let's leave it at S and big S. Let's see how that comes back. That's going to give us the open ports and also the filtered ports, but it won't tell us all the closed ones, so that should keep it a little bit more concise. Run it again. Okay, that's much nicer. So we're getting a report, and we're also getting the name of the manufacturer of some of these devices. A lot of them are Raspberry Pis. I have one from Google. I think that's the Chromecast. my phone there, and Technicolor. Okay, so we can obviously run our script if we're in the My Scripts directory, but that's not really much good to us, because what we want to be able to do is to run that script from wherever we are and run it with just a single word command. And what we're going to do now is we're going to move it to path so that we can use it from wherever we are in the system. So we type path, and that will give us a list separated with colons of all the directories on the system that are considered to be in the path. Okay, so this is the one we're going to use, I think. And I'm not going to move this this file to path. What I'm going to do is copy it to path. So copy, and we'll say pingy. Actually, I'm going to just put sudo in front of that just in case, and give it the destination, hit enter, and it should have gone there. So if we type in the destination, we do a list, and we can see that pingy is there. If we cat pingy, we'll be able to see that that's the code we've just written. Okay, excellent. So I can go anywhere I want in this directory system, and I should be able to just type pingy with root privileges. Okay. And our script runs. Well guys, I know that was a little bit of a long one, but there was a lot of information in there. I hope you get something out of it, and I hope that you have a go at building this little script and putting it in the path of your computer. And I sincerely hope that it's useful to you. Thank you very much for watching.